Welcome to Message Reveal. Message Reveal identifies a vibe, a message, or a story told through lyrics of a song. Well, you guys, today, we got a special one in the house. But before I welcome our special guest, I need to tell you a few things that he's associated with. First, he is a native of Las Vegas. We give big up our natives. We always do. Second, he's an entrepreneur. We love entrepreneurs. We know the grit and grind that goes into that. And last but not least, but it is a big thing, he is a Raider alumni. So you guys, please put your hand together and welcome Chris McLemore.
What an introduction. What an introduction. Thank you, cuz that's and I must say, and I mentioned this earlier, I just love the fact that you have this. I love the fact that you're a family, because you're my cousin, my first cousin.
Yes.
And I love being here. So thank you for allowing me to be here.
Oh, I am so honored that you said yes. I really, truly appreciate it. And thank you. So I always ask my guests this one particular question. What makes your blood boil? What makes you tick? What makes you move? Can you fill us in on that?
I think what makes me move, what makes me tick is, you mentioned earlier, being an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is, it's a big space. You know, when you're an entrepreneur, it goes in a lot of different directions, up and down. But setting goals and setting those goals and achieving those goals, and anytime you set a goal and you achieve a goal, it's a lot to go into that goal. It's discipline and understanding and also failure. You know, a lot of times people think that goals is all based on you achieve the goal and then that's it. But to actually get to that point, you probably have to fall down 6 or 7 or 8 times
to
actually achieve the goal. But that's all learning experience. So that's learning that takes place in that whole process. So I don't mind falling short sometime just in that learning process, because I know at the end I will achieve what I'm destined to achieve. So that's what makes me tick. I like to set goals. I like to be disciplined on it, because maybe it's something that my parents instilled in me and allow me to move forward in life in that fashion.
Yes. Speaking of parents, let's talk about your father and the business that he owned, since you brought up entrepreneur, and the fact that he was the blueprint or the foundation for that. Can you just touch on a little bit of that? Because I'm pretty sure he's an influence for what you're doing right now to this day.
Oh my goodness, yes he is. My dad started a barbecue business when I was in the 6th grade, a business that lasted over 30 years in the community. And you know, and a lot of times when you have a small business in the community, you become a pillar of that community.
Yes.
And when that you're a pillar of that community, that means you have to give back to the community, not just take from the community because you provide a service. But he also fed the homeless, and you know, and when I say he, I'm talking about him and my mom. They fed the homeless. They would always find a way to give back to the community. And so he did that for over 30 years. And you're right, that's something that I'm working on right now. And maybe later on we can probably dig into that, some of the things that I'm involved in. But it's always been a dream of mine. I'm at the point right now where I've ran 2 major companies, and I'm talking about companies that 30 million or above, and where I was either CEO or the CEO, and we sold those 2 companies to private equity groups. So I feel very proud about that, understanding business at that level.
Absolutely.
Level. And now I'm in the process of doing something that I truly want to do, that actually pays homage to my parents. And like I said, we can talk about that a little later, but I'm excited about it.
Awesome. I love that you brought that up, and you did mention about the 30 years, but can we also acknowledge, you and I being both natives, he actually his business was on Jackson Street, which is the historic West Side. And we have to acknowledge that we have so many people moving here and they're not aware of the history of the historic West Side, where at one point we were just segregated to one area. And because of that, we made it great. We made it vibrant. And he was on Bonanza and Jackson Street, correct?
That is correct. He started out on Jackson Street, and during that time, you had the Moulin Rouge, you had Love's, you had Jackson Street was a humping hot place. You know,
Come on.
You would be 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and the whole street still packed. And and Dad and I, and they're working. I was still a young kid, and he's showing me the ropes, and just being working side by side with him. But that goes back to what I was saying, that what he did in the community. And then he took that business and he moved it to Bonanza, which is also not far from Jackson, but Bonanza, which is where Moulin Rouge was, which is another predominant street. And it's amazing, because just doing what he did in the community on Jackson and Bonanza, and doing it for such a long period of time, and giving back to the community, like I mentioned, it was such a blessing.
Yes, and we definitely have to acknowledge. So before we move forward, I'm a firm believer when someone passes, they die or they pass on 2 times if we don't acknowledge them. So if you can say your mother and your father's name, we know they have passed on, my aunt and uncle, but if you cannot acknowledge and say both of their name out of respect.
By all means. My dad's name is James McLemore, aka Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
And my mom's name is Alummni McLemore, and they used to call her Miss Ben all the time. Miss Ben, Miss Ben. So aka Miss Ben. They are my parents, and they were the foundation for not just myself, but for my family and my brothers and sisters.
Yes, wonderful. We have to clap that up. Thank you for acknowledging that. So we're going to transition into some music. So I asked my guests this: can you give me some lyrics of a song that either blessed you, distracted you, or provided some perspective in life? Now, before you answer, there are rules to this, buddy.
Okay.
So, if you can sing, you must sing your throat box out. If you can rap, you got to come hard in the paint. But if you cannot do either one, if you can't do either one, you must say it boldly and with meaning. Do you have a particular song that either blessed you, distraction, or giving you some perspective?
So when I think about that, I think of a life-changing song or event a song that took place when something in my life changed, and it was a dramatic change. And like you say, like a blessing. And I look at the day that I was drafted, which was in 1987. So I'm getting on up there in age. So in 1987, I was still in college. And I'll never forget, it was I think it was a Thursday night, if I'm not mistaken, and I got drafted, and I was in an apartment by myself. It was my senior year. I had already, because I was married at the time, my wife had already went back to Vegas to kind of start setting the foundation to come back home. And I got drafted, and they called me, and I got drafted, and I'm yelling. And the first thing I was thinking about is, there ain't no stopping me now. So the song, realistically, is by John Maxfield and Manhattan, John Whitehead. Sorry, John Whitehead in the back. And so it's ain't no stopping me now, and ain't no stopping me now. And what I did, it says no stopping us now. But what I did is, ain't no stopping me now.
Okay.
We're moving on. Ain't no stopping me now. I've done and hit the groove. Ain't no stopping me now. I'm where we're in the move. So I kind of interchanged some words in there. And back then, I'm by myself, so I'm just messing up all the words. Trust me, because I'm yelling and I'm happy and I'm running around the apartment. And the trip thing about it, I was the only one there. So it was an exciting time for me at that time.
Oh, that's amazing! I love that you can. I feel like music is a time machine, and I love that you can tap into that memory and give us that moment that was super special. You say you was by yourself messing it up, but you were enjoying it, right?
I was screaming, I was yelling, and I knew
Wow.
that through all the hard work to get to that point, that I knew that that was a life-changing moment for me. And I knew that there was no stopping me now, because that's where I wanted to go. I wanted to get drafted. Now I knew there was a lot more work involved as I moved forward, but I knew I had cracked the, when you're a little kid and you're 9 and you're 8 years old, and I used to walk around the house telling my parents, because they used to, be having football in my hand or whatever. And my dad and my mom were like, well, get out of here with that football. Go sit down somewhere, And I tell them, I'm going to the pros. I'm playing the NFL. And they used to always say, yeah.
Huh.
From a young age all the way to that point, it was just revelation. It was just
No, what it says in the Bible, speak those things that are not as though they are. You
talk to
were
me,
doing
girl.
that. You were
That's
doing
right.
that.
That's right. Talk to me. I love it. That's exactly right.
Yeah,
That's
so
exactly right.
you knew. And here's my thing, what you're saying right now, you're giving somebody a perspective to start talking about it, start holding on to their energy, start speaking those things. And what it is, it's just a manifestation, but we have to start to speak it, because the power of the tongue brings life and death. It is so powerful. I think we frame it just in that, but it's so powerful. So we have to be aware of what we say, because it manifests into what we do, right?
It's so true. My grandson, he's really good. He plays soccer, and he reminds me of me so much, because one of the things he does, he's telling his grandmother and me, hey, when I make it big, I'm gonna buy y'all a house and car,
Oh,
I'm gonna do all this stuff. But he's speaking exactly what he wants to do at a young age. And I just encourage it every time he opens his mouth. I said, that's right, man. That's right. Give me a big car. You know what? Yeah, I encourage it, because there is life and death in the power of tongue. And what he's speaking, he's actually going to put work in it. And he loves the
absolutely.
game. So
And
the
then,
passion comes out.
yes, I love that. And look at your encouragement. You may not know now, but that's a chord for the future, for him to say, I remember my grandfather be like, yes, he would encourage me. So we have to be aware. We got to encourage our babies and support their dreams, no matter how it looks.
That's exactly right. That is so true, because that's something that encouragement, it lifts them up. It gives them that tool and that energy that they need, and for them to keep driving in their passion. Because what happens is, when you get older, you're going to hit some bumps, some tough times. That's all part of life. But
Yes.
understand that those tough times are not going to stop you, because you have such a sense of, I'm going to keep moving forward, that nothing's gonna stop you. And
Yeah.
hey, that's what you need. A lot of times when you don't have that, and you have some kids that don't have that type of encouragement as they grow up, and when they hit those tough times, it kind of really takes them to another different place in life, and then they struggle through those tough times. So
Yeah.
we have to do that, especially being, minorities in the area that some of us grew up in. We have to be able to push forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I noticed when we were talking, you touched just a little bit on you being drafted by the Raiders. But before we go and touch on that, I need to acknowledge the change, the shift in the energy here in Las Vegas. And what I mean by that, professional sporting. We have the Formula One, we have UFC, we have WNBA, we have soccer, we have hockey, we have football, and we have, I can go on and on. But my point in saying all of this, me growing up here, the only thing, and you probably can relate, the only team that we really had was Running Rebels.
Yeah.
And you could go into, back then, I think it was the phone company, it was Centel, or you go into Smith Food King, and everybody have on their red, and everybody was excited because the Rebels put Las Vegas on the map. Am I right or am I wrong? That was the
Oh,
only
you're
thing.
100% right. 100% right. And you're right that the climate has changed. Vegas right now, and you mentioned all the sports teams that we have, and we're getting ready. Okay, so I just met with the current. Well, he's not. He was a COO or CEO of the Raiders, Mark Badine. Mark Bedine no longer is with the Raiders. He's on a committee now to be able to bring an NFL basketball team here. That we have a baseball team that's pretty much already dialed in. It's going, and they've already figured out what the stadium is going to be at. So Vegas is the hottest spot right now for in the sports team. When we were young, and even when I was playing, one of the things that they used to always say, I used to always wonder, would they ever have a team in Vegas? And the first thing people would say is, no way, because it's gambling. There's no way we don't have any sports teams in Vegas because of the shift and what it could do to the players betting on the game, maybe even hedging the game, maybe even throwing the game. So there's no way that will ever happen. And even in the process of the Raiders coming here, and it was still up in the air, people used to ask me, you think it's going to happen? I was like, ah, man, you're wasting your time. That's never going to happen. And I was so wrong. And I'm so happy I was wrong, because what we see now is that Vegas can handle a sports team. And not only that, it can handle a lot of different sports teams. And that's what it's doing right now. So we're seeing a shift, and I think it's going to continue along these lines with these sports teams being here. And the good thing about it is they're not just here; they're here winning.
Yes,
Won a cup. You know, the Aces. This is the second championship they've won, which is really great. So my wife and I, and mainly my wife, she is definitely aces, and aces. It's she's really supporting them. And I truly believe that the baseball team and the basketball team, and they're even talking about, they have a soccer team which is semi-pro, but they're talking about getting a professional soccer team. I really believe there's going to be a lot more championships here, because one thing about Vegas, and we knew when the Running Rebels was here, they like a winner.
yes.
You have to win. That's just all part of it. You come to Vegas, you got to win, because if you don't win, Vegas people be like, you know what, I don't know about that. They fickle that way. But if you win, they all for you, and they do whatever they can for the team.
Yes. I'm glad you said, I'm gonna piggyback off of what you said, whatever you said for the team. Like, for example, I work for local government, and guess what? We have a day where we have VGK. I drive down and see street, I see Raiders license plates. I see WNBA, like it has really, and think about really permanent, came through and penetrated, Las Vegas. But think about right now, I wouldn't have never thought in 100 million years we would have the Super Bowl right here in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. I wouldn't have either. I mean, and so that's going to be very, that's going to be huge. Even was it Formula One? Is that the car race?
Yes.
Yeah, that's causing all kind of havoc. But that's even huge. That's even huge as well. But the Super Bowl being here, and if we perform the way I know we will perform, this is just one of many that's going to take place in Vegas. I mean, they are, they just love it. They, just like the basketball, the NBA basketball, they have an in-season tournament right now. And in this tournament, they're going to have a semi-championship. It's not the end, but it's the mid-season championship for the NBA. Well, where do you think they can hold in the mid-season championship? It's going to be held right here in Las Vegas. So we're hot. I mean, we're so hot right now, and everybody's trying to come here. Everybody's trying to have the event here, and that's good for the people that lives here, because hey, that's more work, that's more opportunity, and more chances for Vegas to continuously grow and not just be about gaming and gambling. It's also about other avenues as well.
Absolutely, being diverse, and not only that, we cannot forget our natives, our locals, to continue to tell our story and tell our point of view as well. So that we have to keep that in mind. With that being said, what have you learned playing in the professional NBA that you can apply to your life right now? Being you didn't just play for the Raiders, you also played for 2 other professional teams. When you package that all up and you think about it, and right now where you sit, what were the principles that you can apply to your life now?
Actually, I've applied those principles, because one of the things between the Raiders, the Seahawks, and the Colts, you grow up fast when you and it's the same way in corporate America as well, but maybe not as not as penalized in a sense. You
Mm-hmm.
grow up fast when you're in that business because it's a no-nonsense business. And the ironic thing about it, it's a business. See,
Yes.
when you're playing Pop Warner, you're playing high school, and even in college, it's still a sport. And even though we see it as a sport, and as spectators, as we look on them and we see these young men and young women out there performing at a high level, realistically, it's still a business for them. And I had to learn quick to say, okay, this is my sport, but now I'm a man and I got to take care of my family. This is a business for me. So I had to approach it like a business once I got into the NFL. I've taken those same rules and understanding and applied them in corporate America. And one thing about corporate America, if they know that you played in the NFL, if they know that you played sports, if they know the sports, because what that does is structure. So when
Yes.
you're structured in that sport, that means you're going to be structured in the corporate America. That means you understand discipline. That means you understand what it means to be on time. That means you understand pressure, because corporate America is pressure. Well, the NFL is pressure. It's pressure when you're on the front page and you fumble the ball, or you're on the front page and you did something you didn't want to do, or you're on the front page and they're just talking about you. That's pressure, you know.
Yes.
And so you understand how to adapt to understanding that this is now a business, and I'm gonna look at it as a business, and I'm gonna approach it as a business. And then once you stop playing, then for you, it's just everyday life as you move into the business world. It's business.
Yes, yes. I'm glad you're speaking to someone that may be looking at it from that angle, and you're giving them some wisdom to apply that and say, okay, when it's all said and done, you have to look at it from a business standpoint. And the business standpoint gives you longevity, correct?
Exactly. That's exactly right. Because everything you do from that point on, even your training, the way you eat, the way you take care of your body, how you approach your contract, everything from that point on, it's all about business. When you played the sport in high school and Pop Warner, it was just playing sport. You just love sport. You love the game.
Yes.
But then as you get older, it does become a business.
Yes. Well, I think about this. Anytime we have the opportunity to listen to music as a child, we have sung some songs, and I mean, we broke it down, we jam into it, and then we became an adult, and we was like, wait a minute, that is not what that song means. We all have a story that we can associate with that. Can you share a particular song that you was breaking it down and then you realize as an adult, wait a minute, that's not what it is. You're laughing.
Well, yeah. So, my mom, she kept us in church,
Yes.
even at a young age. We went to church and Bible study, Bible band, Sunday school, then church, we were there, on a regular basis. But one of the songs that I used to sing, even as a little kid, and I used to sing it, didn't really, I sung it, but I didn't really have a meaning, an understanding of it, was Jesus Loves Me. Jesus loves me. This I know, for the Bible tells me so.
Yes.
Little ones to him belong. They are weak, but they are strong. But the things that you always remember is, I know Jesus loved me. And I used to say it even as a kid. I'd be at school and we'd be doing something. I say, well, I know Jesus loved me. And the other kids be like, okay. But as I've gotten older, I really understand the meaning of that, because he definitely does love me. And all the things that I've been through and how he's been there for me. And not only that, now I have an understanding, being a man of the word of God, I have an understanding of not only does he love me, but he lives in me.
All
and that's
right.
something as a kid, I did not know. I mean, I'm saying it, but
yes.
I'm just young. But now I have a true understanding of not only does he love me, but he lives in me. And being that he lives in me, then he can speak through me.
Come on.
Guide me and direct me as I move forward in different avenues of my life. So I have to fully understand that, where as a kid, I just know that Jesus loved me. And that's all I can say,
Oh, I think that's a really cute one. Okay. Cute in the manner that, like you said, as a kid, you sing the song and you didn't really know until you become adult. But one thing I must acknowledge, you said that was so strong. He lives in me. So because he lives in me, he can come out of me.
That's amen. That's exactly right. That's exactly
Yes.
right. I mean, and it takes us a while to understand that. I mean, you really you go through certain things in life, and then you reach back. You reach back to that foundation. You
Yes.
never know why your parents had you do certain things at a young age, but they were building you. They were building you for the future. They were building that foundation that when things do get tough and you get lost somehow, because we all
Huh.
get lost in different avenues of our life. When that does happen, you're able to reach back. And when you reach back, you realize, okay, Jesus loved me. Okay, then let me get in this word. Jesus loved me. What does that really mean? Now I can
Mm-hmm.
ask, what does that really mean to me as I move forward? And as you dig deeper, the word of God then is able to transform you into who
Yes.
He wants you to be. And that's the key.
Yes. Yes. Transformation. That's all we should be doing is going to higher, as they say, Jacob's ladder. I'm not a Bible thumper, but Jacob's ladder, you want to go higher and higher. And to me, that's a spiritual metaphor for self-love, to continue to elevate, continue to rise higher and higher, to understand who you are with that connection of God.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
Yes.
right. That's exactly right. And I think my mom was the instrumental behind that. I thank her for that because that
Yes.
has to me that was the strongest foundation that anyone could ever have given me to be able to fall back on my faith and throughout my life. And
Yes.
I thank her for that, and also thank God.
Well, since you say that, can you, and this will go along with that, we all have a one particular song, I call it a shelf staple song. It's a song that never expires. Like you can hear it 110 times and it's still so new because it's such a connective song. Can you identify a song and share a song with us that you, no matter what, you've always tapped in and used?
Well, when you mentioned that question, when you tell you what came to mind to me was it wasn't any particular one song because
Okay.
I just listen to music, but it was a particular genre of songs, meaning it's the gospel songs that I listen to daily. I mean
Mm.
daily. So either on Pandora or I'm on Prime, I listen to that when I'm working out. I listen to that after my meditation. I get up in the morning at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, just depends. And I start my day with meditation every morning. And so after my meditation, then I like to listen to me some gospel music. So because it sets my day for me, it gets me going. And then from there, I'm able to go into, what my work day is going to look like. And then I usually I go work out and then I go into my work day and see what that looks like. But so for me, it's the gospel music that I reach back to on a daily basis. Because even when I get my day gets kind of screwed up a little bit and I don't get a chance to do that, it just feel like my whole day is off. Because I
Wow.
wasn't able to listen to my music, I wasn't able to meditate. And it's like, man, I just feel like my whole day has just been off and I haven't been on my game. So I know when my day is off, and I know the reason why is because I didn't go through that process. And the music itself, it just calms me and just, and then that I
Yes.
just thankful stage in that morning, like just thanking God, like, yes. And then I just praise him because that's the music that's on. I'm praising him, and now I'm ready to roll. I'm ready because you go out in this world right here, you're gonna have to be ready and prayed up because
That
you're
is
running
true.
across a lot of different individuals. Not that people are bad, but everybody going through certain things in their life. So you have to be
Yes.
able to adapt to that, and they adapt to you, and be able to, if it's business that you guys are doing, do business. If it's just friendships or whatever it may be, you have to be able to move forward in that. So for me, it's just gospel music, period.
Well, okay, I'll let you get off the hook just a little bit, but you got to give me one song. One
Oh,
song.
I'll give you one song. What about I give you a couple. I got a couple of songs that Marvin
Okay.
Sapp. What about Marvin Sapp?
Ooh,
And never would have made it without you. So
yes.
that's one song that, as I look back at that song, I was going through a rough time during that part of my life. I had a mortgage company and I was a broker, and that's when the fall came in 2008, 2009. We had a
Yes.
fall in the mortgage industry, and lost a lot as far as business, but I pulled on that song day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out. I would have never made it. I would have never made it out of that without him. And so that was a song that I used to play so much that the people around me like, oh, please, don't play that song. Please. Can you play something else? I was like, no, I gotta hear this song. This is what's gonna keep me sane here because of everything that I'm going through. So that was a song that I just pulled on and pulled on and pulled on. And I knew that as it drugged me through whatever I was going, I knew that I was gonna give him the glory because he was gonna pull me out of it.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
That song.
Well, listen, you don't have to go pay a therapist. You put the music on and let it be your therapist to keep you going, okay?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I love that song. It will never, ever go out of style because of the words. It's so never would have made it without you. Never.
Never.
Yes.
Never.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's so true. It's sometimes, we have to take a seat and just kind of settle in to truly understand where that power within us comes from.
Yes.
And we have to understand that. I mean, we know we got the physical strength, and we know that a lot of times if you have the knowledge and the wisdom and the education behind you, then that can pull some things. But there's always something deeper.
Yes.
Deeper that's going to push you past a certain point. And it's not the books, and it's not the physical. It's that spiritual that's going to actually guide you and push you stronger past real diverse situations in your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I agree with you because when it's all said and done, it's the unseen. And the unseen to me is the God's love that dwells with us, that picks us up, that moves us, that takes us where we never thought we would go. So you talking some good stuff. Come on, bring that wisdom in. So when I say that, I'm glad you said that. I love this part of the episode when I talk about group participation. It is high elevation, it's high energy, it just grabs you. Like, for example, if you see a group singing together, 9 times out of 10, it's just fun. Like, for example, you hear people going, happy birthday to you. And then other people are joining. You don't have to tell them. It's like an automatic tap in. And even if you're not participating, to watch them do it also is high elevation. Can you identify a song that gives you high elevation that you participated in or you watched?
I would go with participated in. And when I thought about this, I thought about my college fight song. And the reason I thought about my college fight song is because not only the team sung this song, and as a group of team, we sung it, but the whole stadium would sing the song, especially when we was running on the field, running off the field. So, it inspired you. It galvanized you. It fired you up. It moved you. And we sung this right before we went on the field. It's bear down, Arizona, bear down, red and blue, bear down, Arizona, hit them hard, let them know who's who, fight. So, so you got a whole stadium saying that, and you got your team saying that, you just kind of ready to roll. You got ready to go out there and do it. So I thought about that, and I said, you know what? That's the song as team-wise. When I think of lyrics and song, that's what I thought of. And I was just at a game last week. I went down to Tucson, and it was really exciting to hear that the whole stadium did it. I've been gone since '87. Now we're in 2023, so to see that and hear that again, it was just like, oh man, they still doing it. They still doing it.
But did it make you feel good? Did it elevate your energy when you heard that?
Oh yes, I mean, you would want to run through a wall. My energy, it's just like you are so fired up and ready to go, and not just me, but everybody around me. That was because it was just that song. It was your alma mater song, and this is we getting ready to go out here and take care of business. So let's do it. And so we fired up. And so yeah, that's the song that elevated not just myself, but the whole team as we move forward and went on the field.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that particular moment. I want to, before we get out of here, I have one last question, and it's pertaining to, you had alluded to it at the very beginning of the episode, and you talked just a teeny weeny bit about you doing your own thing, and I know a little bit about it. I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's about some barbecue products that you may be doing. And if you can speak a little bit more to that, of what you're doing.
Okay, I am in the process of opening up what I consider a stepping stone and an extension of something that my dad and my mom started. So really, it's two businesses. One is already started, which is Tuck and Run Foundation. And so I look at both businesses. One being my mom, who Tuck and Run Foundation is giving back to the community, is working with runaway youth kids, is working with the foster families and the foster system and kids that are at risk, and providing a mentorship program for those kids. So that's Tuck and Run Foundation. I'm in the process of opening up Tuck and Run Express Barbecue, which is a packaging distribution product that will be able to be packaged up. My dad's product that was in the community for over 30 years, packaged up, that will not only go into bars, restaurants, grocery stores. I will be able to ship this product all over the world. My last company I ran, I was able to set up government contracts and understanding how to set up government contracts. So one of the things that I promised my dad, and I knew when I turned 50 something that I was going to move into this direction, that I was going to take his business and his vision in a different direction and elevate it some way, maybe a little bit different than he could ever have done. And I think that this is it. I'm taking all the tools and skills that I learned in running companies that I learned in the past, and I'm applying all this to Tuck and Run Express Barbecue. So I'm excited about it. Doing pre-marketing right now. We think we found a place, but with finding a place in Vegas is another hard thing. But I think we found a place, and we're excited about the direction we're going with this business.
That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. And when you actually come out fully, if you like, give me a call and we can come on and we can talk about the product and give some shine to your business with that. So I'm super excited for you. And before we get out of here, is there any social media handles you have, any websites you would like to share, maybe for your foundation, or any information you would like to leave with my audience?
tuckandrunfoundation.org. So that's my foundation. So you can go on that website. We still in the process of putting everything together as far as the for-profit. And I will be reaching back out. So I just redid my board on my foundation. COVID, we were really moving really good in the foundation till COVID hit. And that kind of slowed me down along with that and business. But now restructuring everything so everything will be under one roof. And then we'll allow the for-profit to actually funnel the nonprofit and really be able to do things that I want to do as far as giving back to the community. So I'm excited about it. We're making the changes, and we're at the beginning stages of the for-profit, and then really restructure the nonprofit.
That's awesome. If someone would like to get in touch with you, that's like, wow, I saw this episode. Maybe it's something I can contribute, or I want to have a conversation. Is it any kind of information, whether it's social media handles or an email address you can provide for them?
Chris@tuckandrun.org.
Awesome.
Goes directly to me. So you can send me an email, and we can take it from there.
Can you spell that out? Because sometimes people, it may be different. So if you can do that.
Okay. So that would be CHRIS at Tuck, TUCK, Run, RUN, Tuck and Run Foundation. No, wait a minute, tuckandrun.org. So .org. So
okay.
Just at tuckandrun.org.
Awesome, awesome. And if I may say, Tuck and Run, does that have something to do with football?
Yeah, yes, it does. And, it's the logo, and it's very unique. It carries back to where I came from and where I'm going. But you're running through different avenues in life, and you're climbing and you're excelling. And so, yes, it does.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Well, again, I am so excited that you said yes to me. I appreciate your time. I appreciate the history that you were able to provide, the perspective, the wisdom. And before we get out of here, I always give my little speech and I talk about the journey and the destination. The journey is where we learn and where we grow. The destination is where we celebrate. We always have to have a part of celebrating. But the key to it all is to get back on that journey and continue to learn. So with anytime I have the women on, I bow to them, but the men I salute. So I salute you. And I thank you so much for saying yes. And I would like my audience to please give a warm round of applause to Mr. Chris McLemore.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You do your thing, cuz. Hey, this is family right here. Do your thing. I love it. I love it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we will be in touch real soon. Thank you again. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.